Welcome back, Ceiba families. I want to give you all a warm welcome to our 2020 Back to School night. Due to the devastating impact the CZU Lightning Complex forest fire has had on our community, we have decided to record and share out this presentation rather than host our Back to School night live over Zoom. As I shared with you last week through 2 letters, some of our Ceiba faculty and staff have had to evacuate, and many others are caring for family, friends, and pets who have had to leave their homes. I'm certain many of you have been impacted by these fires as well. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone impacted by these fires. Finally, please know Ceiba is here for you should you need support. And with that, onward to our Back to School night presentation. To begin, I want to introduce myself. My name is Mr. Rip, and I'm the head of school at Ceiba College Prep. We have a 2-part agenda to our Back to School night meeting. The first is a head of school welcome led by me. During the head of school welcome, I'm going to discuss 3 items: distance learning tips for success, the schedule, and the Ceiba family communication. After I'm finished with my head of school welcome, our grade level teams will come on and they will provide grade level expectations. Each individual teacher will provide an introduction, and then each individual teacher will give a short class overview for what their classes will look like for the upcoming school year. Like I said on the previous slide, I will be discussing 3 items this evening: tips for distance learning, schedules, and ways we communicate. First up is tips for distance learning, tips for success. We learned a lot in quarter 4, and after reviewing how we did as a school, as well as reading what other schools are doing around the state, I came up with 3 basic tips that I think, actually I know, that if you follow, you will be successful with distance learning. Tip 1, show up every day. One thing that was very clear from the data is that students who attend school through Zoom every day do much better. Grades are better, they feel less stressed, and they feel confident that they know what is going on in their classes. What's the key? Showing up every day. Turn on your Zoom, answer emails, turn in your assignments every day. Do this, and I am certain you will be successful with distance learning. Tip 2, make a daily schedule. Too often I've seen kids seem lost, confused, and take way too little or way too much time to complete assignments. This often is the result of students not having a structured schedule. My second tip for success with distance learning is to create a daily schedule. Wake up at the same time, eat breakfast at the same time. You may even want to think about taking a shower just as if you were planning to come to the building. Follow your schedule of Zoom classes, and finally, make a clear break between fun time and work time. This is difficult with distance learning with all of the fun things you can do with your Chromebooks, but it's also incredibly important. If you're supposed to be doing classwork, do classwork. If you're supposed to have fun time, then you can have fun time. By following a daily schedule, you can enjoy your free time knowing you've completed all of your responsibilities for the day. Finally, tip 3. Too often, adolescents and teenagers want to retreat to their bedrooms and shut out the world. But this is not good for their mental or emotional health. Connecting with others is what makes school special for many. Just because we're physically distanced from one another doesn't mean connecting should stop. Call your friends. Talk with classmates on Zoom. Talk with your teachers on Zoom. Open up to your families. These are all ways you can connect with others and be successful with distance learning. I want to take a moment here to pause and discuss Zoom and how that's connected to connecting with others. Too many students think going to Zoom meetings means turning off your audio and video and just listening to the teacher. That's not connecting. Connecting is talking to your classmates and your teachers by using your video and your audio. That is our expectation for all of you at Ceiba. Turn on your video and turn on your audio when you're on Zoom. Okay, now that we've discussed tips for success with distance learning, I want to discuss our schedule. I've broken down our schedule into two parts. The first part is Mondays. Mondays will continue to have 6 classes or periods, but there is a new live component that I've highlighted in yellow. Your first period class will now become live and function as a homeroom for 15 minutes. This is an opportunity to connect with your classmates and your teachers. Take a look at the school announcements and plan for the upcoming week. This live session on Zoom also will help you to maintain a daily schedule. One of the tips for success I mentioned on previous slides. So students, the expectation here is to be up and on your live Zoom classes at 8 a.m. every day, including Mondays. This new live interaction begins this coming Monday, August 31st. Be sure to tune into your live Zoom class for period 1. Let's move on to our Tuesday through Friday schedule. While the schedule is staying the same, just like Monday, we're adding more live Zoom interactions. Now each of your classes, Tuesday through Friday, will begin with live Zoom sessions. Support and intervention will continue to take place on Wednesday and Friday, but will do so after your live Zoom session. I have bolded the times you all need to remember. 8 a.m. for periods 1 or 4, 9:20 a.m. for periods 2 or 5, and 10:40 a.m. for periods 3 or 6. Be sure to tune into your teacher's live Zoom sessions each period, Tuesday through Friday. My final agenda item is the Ceiba family communication. I wanted to spend a moment to discuss how Ceiba communicates with all of you. I've broken down our communication into 6 main areas. First up, phone calls. You may receive phone calls from the office if your student does not check in for the day. You also may receive phone calls letting you know that there is a tutor who's eager to support your student. This could be in the form of a grade level academic coordinator check-in who wants to support your student. Phone calls are a simple, easy method that Ceiba uses to communicate with our students and their parents. Next up, text messages. You will receive text messages that will remind you sometimes when live Zoom classes are starting, that your students need to turn in missing an assignment, or there might be a link to a letter within the text message. Last week, I sent out 2 letters to our community in response to the fires. You likely received these in a link through our text message. If you have not received text messages, please call us so we can correct your name in our system. Third, emails. Similar to text, Ceiba will send out emails to families who have indicated this on their emergency card they filled out. Messages that go to text will also be sent to families' email addresses. Fourth, Schoology. Schoology is our learning management system. This is where teachers post assignments and where students can access their assignments, complete them, and submit them for a grade. Teachers will also post student grades on Schoology. Parents, please check Schoology regularly. Your students know if you do, and they will be more motivated to turn in work if they know that you'll be checking on a regular basis. Fifth, our weekly newsletter. Many families shared they want to know what assignments are coming up for their students. Our weekly newsletter seeks to resolve this issue that parents expressed. Every week, teachers will write down what students will be doing for the upcoming week. Read this letter over with your students and ask them about their assignments. This is a great way for students and parents to connect. Finally, social media. Ceiba maintains both an active Facebook and Instagram account. Ceiba staff will share out fun photos and videos as an additional way for Ceiba to stay connected with all of you. This concludes my head of school introduction to the back to school night recording. I'm now going to hand it over to our grade levels to introduce themselves.
Welcome
to Back
to School Night.
Back to school.
Back to school.
Hi, this is Mr. Grist. I teach World Geography, and welcome to Back to School Night. Before we get started in introducing your classes, we want to go over the new schedule, the new daily and weekly schedule that we will be doing starting August 31st. This will be a change from the schedule that we've been doing for the first 4 weeks of quarter one. Monday is going to start off with students joining their homeroom, going into their first period in a live Zoom meeting. So the students are going to start off their day on Monday in a live Zoom meeting with their period one teacher. This is going to be their homeroom area where they take attendance, check in about assignments, and do maybe a character building activity. Tuesday, we'll have live Zoom classes for A-day classes. Wednesday, we will have live Zoom classes for the beginning of each class for A-day classes with intervention afterwards. Thursday, we'll have live classes via Zoom for B-day classes, periods 4, 5, and 6. And Friday, we will have live Zoom at the beginning of each B-day class, periods 4, 5, and 6, with scheduled interventions afterward.
Mucho gusto, mi nombre es Pamela, soy la coordinadora del grado 9. Estas van a ser las clases que van a cambiar para la semana que entra. El lunes van a empezar en una clase de Zoom en vivo y ese se va a llamar Homeroom. Va a tener clase en vivo cada lunes para el primer periodo. Después de eso va a tener todos los siguientes periodos del 1 al 6. El martes en cada periodo va a tener su clase de Zoom en vivo cuando empiece la clase. El miércoles otra vez son los periodos de 1 al 3. Van a tener clase de Zoom en vivo cuando empiece la clase y después va a haber intervención para estudiantes que necesiten más ayuda. El jueves van a hacer sus clases del 4 al 6º periodo y van a empezar con Zoom cuando empiece la clase. Y el viernes otra vez el 4 al 6º periodo con Zoom cuando empiece la clase y después van a tener intervención para los estudiantes que necesiten más ayuda.
We'd also like to go over some virtual norms for the grade 9 as we continue into our digital classrooms. So these are some things that students should always be aware of as we go forward into everyday live classes via Zoom. Be visible. Check your surroundings. Can we see you? Mute yourself. Be sure to mute yourself when you are not talking. Participate. Be focused. Pay attention. Be an active participant. Come prepared. Ask to speak. Type question or question mark in the chat box, and the teacher will ask you to unmute yourself. Most importantly, use headphones. Use headphones to limit distractions and help you hear clearly. And with that, welcome to World Geography. As you might already know, I'm already Mr. Grist. I'm still Mr. Grist. And I'd like to introduce myself to you. I went to college at UC Santa Cruz. My focus here at Ceiba is on geography and philosophy and study skills for this year. And this is my 4th year teaching at Ceiba. Here are some class expectations for world geography. You can expect your student to work at a college level reading, develop their college level reading and writing skills, develop research skills, develop and deepen their understanding of map reading and cartography. And even if it's geography or social or study skills, students will develop good habits of mind and action, like hard work, active listening, and using evidence. This is my schedule for Tuesdays and Wednesdays starting August 31st. On Tuesday, students can expect live Zoom instruction for 30 minutes, with active participation being graded. Block 1 will meet from 8 to 8:30, Block 2 will meet from 9:20 to 9:50, and Block 3 will meet from 10:40 to 11:10 a.m. On Wednesdays, I will start each class with live Zoom instruction, followed by scheduled interventions with students through Zoom. Block 1 will still be at the same time, starting at 8 a.m., Block 2 at 9:20 a.m., and Block 3 at 10:40 a.m. In World Geography, students will be using a number of different electronic applications, some of which you may already recognize, including Schoology. Others will be video platforms like Edpuzzle, article platforms like Newsela and Actively Learn, and reading and writing media programs like Padlet. If you want to get in touch with me, you can reach out through my email, that is matt.grist@ceibaprep.org. You can also reach out to my professional phone line. It's set up for voicemail only and text messages, but I can reach out to you from there. That is 831-288-5737. You can also reach out to me through Schoology as well.
Hello, and let me introduce myself. My name is Miss Margulies, and I am the Algebra 1 teacher. So let's go over some things that we're going to learn in class. Well, I'm not sure if your student already told you, but we had our first assignment was how to learn. We went through how it is that we're going to learn in this very different environment that we're in. And the students were very excited and got to learn new skills, and that went really, really well. Currently, we're in our statistics unit, and after that, we are going to be working with linear equations and inequalities. Next, we'll move on to functions. We will be discussing linear functions, power function, and exponential functions. The last unit that we'll do this year will be quadratic equations and functions. And if you can't see from that, we're doing lots of functions. So let's go into what our schedule is going to look like. Block 1, we will start with a Zoom meeting just for Block 1 on Mondays. All other blocks will have an introduction to the week, and then we'll have independent practice. The teacher will be available to help through email, phone, or Zoom. On Tuesdays, we will have Zoom meetings by block class time. This is a mandatory meeting. On Wednesdays, we will have Zoom meetings by block class time as well. They are mandatory class, and then support for those who need help with past or current assignments. Commonly used tech platforms. We are going to be using Schoology, which your students should be really familiar with, for our daily folders, assignments, and attendance. I will also be having assessments through Schoology. Some others we are going to use are Edpuzzle, iExcel, Desmos, and I might be adding more throughout the semester. Expectations. My expectation is for everyone to always do their best work. We make mistakes and we learn from them. Some of the best learning happens when we make our mistakes. The students are required to attend Zoom classes and support hours as required. Complete assignments by the due date. Late work is accepted up to a week at 50% credit. Participate in class discussions through Zoom and Schoology posts. And most of all, your students should advocate for their learning by communicating with their teacher about concepts, assignments, and instructions. Here's my contact information. I can be reached at my email, mary.morgulese@ceibaprep.org, or Google Voice 831-288-2308, or through Schoology. Thank you.
Hello and welcome. My name is Mrs. Petruzzi and I will be teaching physical education this semester. This year, what students will learn is we are going to be doing a variety of physical fitness components, exercises, and routines to keep physical, emotional, and spiritual needs at the forefront during distance learning. The weekly PE schedule is as follows. We will start every single day with a live Zoom. And depending on the day, we will do an activity. So on Mondays, we do meditation Mondays or mindfulness Mondays as well. On Thursdays, we will do a unit task or a workout. And Fridays, students will always complete what I am referring to as a Friday fitness challenge. And class will always be starting live unless otherwise noted on the Schoology agenda that I post in each folder. So commonly used platforms, Schoology, I put everything into folders for the day. The daily click needs to be done there. Agenda and assignments are also in the folders. Quizzes are also to be taken on Schoology. I will be implementing Google Slides for projects and Google Docs potentially for assignments. And I might use other platforms as the quarter or semester continues. The expectations for this quarter or for the year or while we are doing distance learning, whatever it may be, students are expected to check Schoology on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays and check the agenda for what the plans are for the day. They must check the daily folder and read the agenda, complete any assignments as necessary, and make sure that they practice proper Zoom etiquette, participate, and contact me with any questions. My contact information is here. The best and fastest way to get a hold of me is through my Ceiba Prep email. So it's heidi.petruzzi@ceibaprep.org. I also have a Google Voice number there for you, 831-288-2054. And again, similar to Mr. Grist, that is set up for text messages or voice messages. We can also meet through Zoom, and my Zoom link is on my PE page on Schoology.
Aloha, I am Mr. Sutter. I teach biology. I'm very excited to have your scholars join me this year as we learn about life on Earth. What will we learn in class? This year, we will focus on learning how to write scientific arguments as we discover what makes life possible on our planet. We will look at ecosystems, learn about cells, and identify exactly what it means to be alive. Live and independent learning. We will have live class on Thursday and Friday based on the schedule below, in addition to our all-day Monday classes. Scholars will also have independent tasks to complete on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Scholars will be required to turn on cameras and microphones when asked to participate in activities. Some commonly used technology platforms will include Schoology, Quizlet, Edpuzzle, Realize, Google Docs, Slides and Sheets, and Actively Learn. My expectations for your scholars. Behavior. Students are expected to model benevolence in the classroom and on Zoom. This needs to be a safe place for students to learn, so any type of disrespectful or disruptive behavior will not be tolerated. I expect respect. I will always treat scholars with respect and courtesy. I expect the same from them towards me, their fellow classmates. Laughing at or teasing of classmates will not be tolerated. Zoom. Attendance in weekly Zoom sessions is mandatory. You must show up on time with your camera and microphone off. Zoom participation counts for 10% of your final grade. And communication. I expect scholars to maintain good communication with appropriate etiquette. If your scholar is struggling, I am here to help. Please encourage them to email me right away. If you would like to contact me, you can reach me by email at my Ceiba address, micaiah.sutter@ceibaprep.org, or you can call or text me at 831-219-8785. Lo siento, no hablo español.
Hi everyone, my name is Ms. Ricard and I'm teaching English Language Arts this year. What we'll be learning in class, we're going to go ahead and start off with 4 different novels divided between the quarters. So we're starting off with Of Mice and Men. We're going to continue with Night, A Christmas Carol, and Romeo and Juliet. In addition to the reading requirements on a weekly basis, we will also have grammar and vocabulary packets, and this will be on a digital platform called Wiser. Students will also be given weekly writing assignments and weekly discussions through our live Zoom classes. Our schedule for the following weeks will look on Mondays. We'll start with block 1. So as mentioned before, it'll start at 8 a.m. and it's a homeroom. All other blocks will have assignments posted on Schoology with an overview of what the week will look like. On Tuesdays, we have 3 blocks. The first block will start at 8 a.m. with a live Zoom class. Block 2 will start at 9:20 a.m. with a live Zoom class. And block 3 will start at 10:40 a.m. with a live Zoom class. After the mandatory Zoom classes, students are required to work independently on vocabulary or grammar packets. Wednesday looks very similar to Tuesday within the schedule. The difference between Wednesday is that after the 10 to 15 minute live class, students will stay behind if they would like additional help on their assignments. So this Wednesdays is when we will be doing support hours alongside with the live Zoom classes. The platforms that I will be using within the classroom are Schoology. This will be for folders, daily clicks, agendas, and assignments, as well as any quizzes and exams. We will be using Google Docs for assignments that will then be posted on Schoology. Wiser is a new platform that I've introduced to students this year, and we're using it for vocabulary and grammar packets. And then in addition, we'll also be using periodically Actively Learn and Edpuzzle. Some of my expectations within English class is that late work is accepted within 1 week of the assigned deadline and with a 50% deduction in the grade. After 1 week, late work will not be accepted. Students are attending and are participating in mandatory Zoom meetings. So this is both Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And students communicate when they need help or are having difficulty with any assignments. My contact information is my email is diana.ricard@ceibaprep.org, and my Google Voice number is 408-713-0859. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or would like any information.
Hi folks, I'm Trevor Stover. I'm a study skills teacher. I teach 2 blocks of study skills and Mr. Grist teaches the other one. Yep, I graduated UC Santa Cruz 2015. I've been a teacher here at Ceiba. This is my 6th year starting, and I reside in Watsonville currently. Okay, so Monday, as has been said already, block 1 is going to meet for homeroom style check-in. That won't impact study skills because I have them blocks 4 through 6. But every Monday, students can be expected to work on a grade check. It's the same thing every week. They check their grades and list their assignments that they need to catch up. Thursdays are about social emotional learning. We'll meet for 25 to 40 minutes at the beginning of the block to do Character Strong, which is a social emotional curriculum. Friday, students will meet for a shorter time at the start of the block. This is our support day where I'll keep students after that live session to stick around for the rest of the block to work on missing assignments or learning logs, which every week is the same in study skills. Learning logs help students think about their learning on previous assignments. Okay, so expectations, very similar to Ms. Ricard's. I'll skip the first bullet point. With Zoom meetings, I do expect students to participate. They should have their cameras on when they answer questions. They should be engaging in discussion and group work, and they should model appropriate behavior. And so far, that's been, students have done a great job with that so far. Students will receive an email from me when they're required to stay for that Friday support session longer than the 10 or 15 minutes. Here's my my contact information. Trevor.stober@ceibaprep.org, my Google Voice, 831-288-2261. Thank you, welcome back.
So we unfortunately don't have Mr. Jones on the line currently, but Mr. Jones teaches directed studies. Directed studies is basically that some students have an additional class to provide support with their regular classes. In directed studies, Mr. Jones will work with students on assignments from other classes. He will help students check grades and Schoology and build and assess academic skills. The live Zoom classes are on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:40 a.m. Students who have this class are required to attend on a regular basis. Mr. Jones' contact information is liam.jones@ceibaprep.org. He also has a Google Voice at 831-750-3005. He's also available to support students with IEPs throughout the week. Students are encouraged to email him to arrange a Zoom meeting.
Mucho gusto, mi nombre es Pamela Velázquez, soy la coordinadora del nivel académico del 9º grado. Esta persona del nivel académico es la persona designada para trabajar con usted y su estudiante a través de cualquier dificultad que pueda tener este año. Mi posición es monitorear el progreso académico de los estudiantes y trabajar con los estudiantes y otro personal para poder brindarles apoyo. Esa es mi información de contacto. Yo también estoy haciendo muchas llamadas a las casas, pero usted me puede regresar la llamada o mandarme un mensaje de texto si eso es más fácil a mi número de Google Voice 831-288-5958.
We would like to thank everyone for attending the grade 9 back to school night. We look forward to a successful school year with your scholars.